Ladies and gentlemen, in this video we will show you how to update the impact fee spreadsheets. In the shared directory, only documents capital. Depending on what branch the capital is for, there are various impact fee spreadsheets. For example, in public services capital, if I were to go into libraries and B185, you'll see there's a B185 land fund balance and B185 facilities fund balance. Going back out to parks, you have B181, B182, and B183. Same thing, a land fund balance and a facilities fund balance. If I were to go to public safety, you'll see there's one here for B188 for shelter and traffic management. And also for fire rescue, B180 and B184. I have one for land, one for facilities and equipment. Each of those spreadsheets are functioning exactly the same way. So I'm going to show you with Public Services Capital how to update one of these spreadsheets. And you can use this same template as a guide when updating the other files. So we'll start with B181 West. And I have opened the land fund balance and the facilities fund balance right now. I will close this screen. Here's the land fund balance spreadsheet. And also the facilities fund balance spreadsheet. So first thing we want to do is update this miscellaneous revenue percentage tab. So I'm going to take the most recent prior year actuals, in this case is FY16, copy, and then insert copied cells, and make an FY17. You want to do it this way because you want to preserve the formulas that are in here. We will now delete this data because that's the same from 16. Make sure that the number here is carrying over from the prior year fund balance. You want to check to make sure that this number matches the CAFR. So if you were to go to the shared directory, OMB documents, CAFRs, look at the 2016 CAFR. Go around page 200, look for that impact fee fund. Here's Park Impact Fee West. Fund balance at end of year is 7521480. I'm just going to pull that off the screen here for a second and compare. 7521432. So something changed. So you want to actually update that information before we start updating 17. So I will split my screen here for a second. Get back to Munis. So we're going to just update the 16 data with the Munis data. This will be the same process we'll use for updating FY17. So I need to go into Account Inquiry. And in this case, we just want everything that's in the 181 fund. You could run a report, or you could run it this way. And do is search 2181 3-star to give you all the revenues. Click totals. And our 16 number should be 783,167, so that's where we're off. O2. So this will be a way of double checking once we put on all the numbers. And we'll just scroll through here looking at 16 and 17 actuals. We can actually update both at the same time. Here we have interest 361,150, 6971.85. So it changed slightly from the last time that we looked at this. Actually, before we do that, we're going to go back and preserve our FY18 file, because all of these files are linked back to the miscellaneous revenue percentage tab. So I'm going to right-click on it. Do that again. Right-click on the tab, click Move or Copy, click Create a Copy, and we want to make an adopted FY18 file. Rename it adopted FY18. And since I'm going to be changing FY16 over here, that's going to throw off what we had as our budgeted number. So I'm going to copy this and paste the values. That way it'll preserve those numbers there. Same with these numbers in case we have to change any expenses. So this should then match what we had adopted for 18. Now everything else will be updated back on this tab. So go back here. And we're going to make this 6971.85 and 11,871.26. Just pulling that from here. FY16 actual, FY17 actual. This changed a bit. So it's 13,795.86. And dividends are now 21,235 in FY17. And that also changed a bit. 11,867.36 and 12,894.99. So now my FY16 total, those numbers wouldn't have changed. Usually interest changes. Finally, somebody makes some last minute adjustments. So that's why this 16 number changed from the last time we looked at it. So everything else looked good for 16 as far as the actual revenues. So we'll keep plugging away, entering the 17 data. Another way you can do this is by clicking Browse. Since there's 34 records here. Close some of these columns that we don't need right now. I only want 2017 actual and 2016 actual. So we can sort just by the things that have dollar amounts in them. So we have park impact fee facilities for 17 is 772, 143.36. And for 16 was 603, 455.12. That matches. Impact fees for land were 147, 076.83. That matches there. And for 17, 186, 714.39. We already did the interest accounts. And does this show me? 17 actual, 1,004,824.35. That's exactly what we came back to. So total revenues match there. Now we'll do the same thing for expenses. Click return. I can do search 21815 star, which gives me all the expenses. Again, there's 43 accounts. We can just do a browse to see what accounts actually had transactions against them. There we go. So we have a total of 3,397,506.44 we need to come back to. And 2016 also got changed for actual expenses. Oh. I'll have to double check that one. So 2017 was, actually, we don't really need the transaction level for this piece. We'll just click totals. (2016) 247863081, 2017 339750644. So now we can go back to our CAFR and compare. 7521480 matches this 7521480. Might be off by $1 or $2 depending on the rounding that the finance does. So this should be good, and by the time the CAFR comes out, as of this date, it's February 9th, we don't have it. But usually by March, we should be able to validate this number from finance. Right now, we have to go with what's in our financial system. So this tab is now updated. Now we want to link our fund balance tab to plug in these actuals for 17. So first thing that we'll do, again, is we want to preserve our FY18 amount. So let's go back to this one. We're going to copy these numbers, and we're going to overwrite this column here with the values. And we're going to change this to be 18. And we're going to change these a year. Oops. To be 19 to 22, and this will then become FY23. Do a little formatting here, make sure it goes all the way through. I also like to update this date that I revised it to 9. It's today's date. And now we need to create an actual 17 column because we have the actual 16 numbers. Copy, insert copied cells, change this to 17. Make sure this is linking the right prior year. And then we're going to then link back to this miscellaneous revenue percentage spreadsheet. So I'm going to pull all my land interest accounts. So I have the SBA, dividends for land, SBA Fund B, or actually this is net increase decrease. That, and my park impact fees for land is this account. So that's my total land revenues. And I'm going to delete this. Now we want to go back through Munis and see what were our, sorry, I want to delete those. Those were 17 numbers. We want to update this with what our land impact fee expenses were. So the way that we'll do that is we'll exit totals. Here we'll do an advanced segment find. Use fund 2181. And for a program, we're going to pick the land program. So you can search by description. Look for the word land, which is 3093. Hit accept. And we want expenses. And we want to see it by project. This one was actually 0, so it makes it very easy. So there were no actuals in 17 for land. Another thing we can do while we're here, we can double check our 18 numbers to make sure that they're correct. 2181, use that program, 3093, account type, revenue. Check my totals. I have 180, so the budget is 1,512,083. I'm sorry, 18, our total is 810,409. So we have 686,230 plus this 124,179 equals a total of 810,409. So our budget is correct on this spreadsheet. Then we could do the same for expenses. 2181, program 3093 for land. Account type expense. Click on totals. 810,409. Exit totals. We can also double check our reserve amount. Go to our 2018 original and revise just to double check there was no amendments. 809,909. So that's the amount we'll plug in here. Okay, now continue to save. We're going to update the facilities fund balance. So here I will arrange horizontal. So I can link back to this miscellaneous revenue percentage file. I'm going to do the same exact thing I did with my land spreadsheet. I'm going to move this over here. I always like to have the fund balance as my working tab, and then anything prior to that to the right of it. So we'll right click this, create a copy, make this adopted FY18. Do all the same things. Formatting, make sure this is all the same data. Update this date. 2/9. Oops, actually, this is my adopted version. I'm going to keep that the same. What I forgot to do was use the numbers there that were not linked. So I'll have to recreate that data. We'll do that by double check by validating against the what's in Munis. Okay, so here we want to update this one 2/9, my fund balance tab. I'm going to copy this fiscal year to these fiscal years. Copy these over. Make this 23. As you do that, you want to move over your numbers that go alongside with it. We'll update that later. And we want to make an actual 17. We want to make whatever our 18 numbers were. Copy that over. As values, so they're not formulas. Same with our expenses. Take that out, and you can see we're $39 off. That's because of that interest we'll have to fix. So this is going to be FY17. And now I'm going to link this. As you can see, this is all the same numbers. We want to link now to the 17 numbers on this file, this tab. So that's this one, SBA, dividends, net increase, decrease. And we want our impact fees for facilities. And then we want to see what the actuals were for 17 expenses. Get Munis back up. I'm going to freeze these panes so it's easier to see. And scroll to the right. So same concept. We now want to look at the facilities portion of the impact fee fund. So to advanced, segment find, 2181. The program is called facilities. And accept. And I'll look at the expense. Look at my totals. We had 339750644. Let's see what that was for. Click Browse. Sort. Put it at the top there. There was this one and this one. So P2031, I believe, is for Starkey District Park. We can look that up by looking at, actually if I were to click on it, just click accept. Yep, Starkey Ranch District Park. So actual 17, 94, 0, 12, 38. And let's see what that other one was. Browse. This one did not have a project number. So I'm going to open up the transaction to see what exactly it was for. Let's pull this up, see if it can give us more details. Oh, no luck there. Let's try detail. There we go, AP invoice. View documents. Starkey Ranch District Park. So all those are for Starkey Ranch District Park. WSTSR, and you can see that was for a lot of these. So I will add that 3,303,494.06 there. So now what we want to do is double check that everything we just did matches everything. Well, actually, I wanted to fix 2016. Match our 2018 budget. think I'm just going to have to deduct $39 here because I don't remember exactly which one it was. Not this one, sorry. Go back to my adopted 18 file. Now we match exactly. Which means our fund balance should be 157,907 here. Again, we can double check this. Going to advanced, segment find, 2181, program 3096, count type revenue. There's the first one. Browse. Budget for 18. That does not match. Oh, there we go. It's still not matching, so I'm going to double check some numbers here. So let's go to next year budget entry. $18,001, accept. Segment find, 2181, program 3096, count type revenue. Want to see just my adopted amount and my projected amount. $6,106, $140, $2,112. Well, that was different at $516, $648. So a total of $6,224,900. We'll do the same thing for our expenses now. Advanced segment find, 2181, 3096, count type expense. $1,000 estimated, and here 6,623,900. And we had reserves, interfront transfer, 481,923. Let's go back. $2,181, 3096. Revenue. Okay, we had no fund balance. And we had 482,623 in revenue. Let me look at this proposed 18 version. There we go. That's where this data came from. 505,450. I'm just going to plug in 482,623 because that's what it was. And we had interest of $300. Now we match. Okay, so this is the information I want to put back in over to here for amended 18. Okay, well that's a good example of something that doesn't always work the way you intended to do. So now we'll update our estimated numbers and our projecting out for future years. Now that we have everything matching what our CAFR is. Oh, actually we'll do one more check. We want to see that this matches our fund balance for each of these. That plus that. Yep, up by a few cents, so that's good. Okay, so let's start with land. We want our estimated 18. We're going to now just put the same amount for interest. Making again just sure this is, oh, see here, this needs to be referenced. Actual 17 ending balance. And we'll could change this to 18. This column here shows you what the difference is between your estimated amount and your adopted amount. So in this case, because we didn't spend anything, we have an additional $924,519 in fund balance. Mostly because we were estimated that this $856,916 would have been spent. So we want to carry that money forward, or assume it's going to be carried forward. So we'll show that as an estimated 18 expense now. So we don't budget too much in 19. So now we want to see what our land impact fees are going to be. Go back to account inquiry. And let's bring in our 2018 actuals. Somewhere. There it is. And I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to do an advanced segment find 2181 and function 324 star. That is for all impact fee accounts. Okay, so here's the land account. So we had, want to look at trends, 141,015, 147,016, 186,017. And now to date we have 46,539.77. So let's look at the months screen and compare the first few months to what we received prior years. So I can pull in last year's actuals and last year 2 actuals, which is 2 years ago. So here we had 14,000 October, 7,700 November. December was 14,853.23. So we can try and straight line that out, or we can also do over here some comparisons to the side. Let's see. Let's put in the 14,151.93, 7703.98, 14,853.23. Total those up. Now I'm plugging in this 16 actuals, or 17, 12, 355, 32, 16, 7, 16, 60, and then 4,032.09, 10, 403, 28, 13, 246, 77. Okay, what I want to do is do a percentage analysis. So I got 186, 714, 39 there, 147, 076, 83. See how much this first quarter of revenue. I'll do that. Should I do this divided by that? Change that to percentage. So in FY17, let's make this clearer for you, FY18, FY17, FY16. In FY17, we got 21, and this first quarter represented 21.5% of the total revenue. And now we're going to do the same thing for 16 to see what that percentage equates to. That was 18.8%. So we got anywhere between 18 or 19% and 22% in the first quarter. So this, we got 36,709 for this in 18 so far. So I could do this divided by that to say, extrapolate that, what I would get for the year. That divided by that. So anywhere between 171,000 and 195,000. We budgeted 122,875, so both of these are good. Since we got 186 last year, and we know trends are going up, I would feel comfortable using this 195 number for now. Let's just see what kind of percentage increase that was. It's 4.5% increase, and if you look at '17 to '16, that was a 27% increase, so that's still pretty good. So we can't necessarily always trust these numbers, but for right now we have to go with what we got. So that's 195,000 for 19. I'm going to say another 5% increase over that. And I think we can continue that trend instead of 3% for the out years. And we currently don't have any expenses for land in the west zone, other than the say 56,916. So this is what we'll have going into 19. We can also see how much interest we predict to have by looking at what we got in the prior year. And so what I like to do for that is sum up my interest accounts and divide it by my fund balance. Convert that to a percentage. So we got 0.6%. So this is at 0.02. So I'll change that to 6 and copy that formula over. So this spreadsheet is done. So now we'll do the same thing for the facilities fund balance. Kind of copy that over here. Let's find out what our, let's do the interest calculation. Same percentage. So we'll change this up for 19 and beyond. Let's see here. There's the facilities account. Okay, so let's plug these numbers in. Okay, so I just plugged in these first 3 months and my total for the year. Again, I'm trying to calculate what percentage does the first 3 months represent for the year. 603, 455, 12. Do that same formula. Do the same thing for 16. Came out to almost exactly the same as what the, yep, 18.9, 18.8, 21.5, 21.6, so very similar to methodology of the land impact fees. So that gets me between 759,000 and 869,000. Again, I want to compare my trends. From 427 to 603 to 772, so quite big increases. 28% increase. And if I were to use this over 17, so 12 point, oops, I forgot to subtract 1, 12.6% increase, so I'm comfortable with that. Again, based on our trends, so now I'm going to do a 5% increase for 19 through 23. The way this particular zone works for Starkey Park is we budget the 100% of the revenue that we collect in. So we basically just look at our ending fund balance and plug in those numbers. So here I can do minus 1, 404, 466. 480, 416. I want to round this number. 385, 346. Something happened here. Take these out. That's bad. Yeah, picking up the wrong number. There we go. That looks more linear. Okay. 910, 151, 955, 708, 1003, 543. Again, I'm just looking down here. 1053, 771. So all those would be available for the Starkey Park until that project is complete. So this completes this video, updating the impact fee fund balances for both land and facilities.